Last week, this tweet appeared in my timeline. It contained a GIF animation showing the proper motion of stars around the South Pole over a period of 250,000 years, during which the star Sirius, the brightest star visible in the sky and visible in the Northern Hemisphere today, will become the South Pole star. Now, when I saw the second tweet in this thread, where the author wrote, "Better yet, you can run the simulation in your browser," I thought, could this work with the HTML5 animation framework I wrote earlier in the month? When I took a look at the page, it confirmed what I had thought, that it would be possible to run this browser-based simulation and generate a 4K video from it. To create the animation, I had to create two files, a JavaScript module for the framework that would create the animation and the configuration file that defines the animation. For the module, there's four parts. The first part is the module's constructor, which returns an object containing the three functions needed to create the animation. The first is the preload function. This function is called just prior to the page being loaded. Here we just take the page parameter from the configuration and put it into the location the framework expects the page URL to be. Next is the init function. This is called after the page is loaded and is ready to be used. Here we need to hide the control boxes as we don't want them to be in the final animation. Next we have the start year and the number of years between frames. Finally, we move a couple of elements around onto the screen so that they are still visible. These will show the current year and the speed on each frame in the top left hand corner. The last function is update frame. This is called once for every frame in the animation. All this does is call the advanced function within the original simulator and just advances the simulation by one frame. Next we have the configuration file. This is the YAML file and contains the definition for the animation run. The project section holds the details of this project. The main entries here are output, where the final video will be placed, frames, the directory where each frame will be stored before the video is generated. Then in the video section we have the properties for the video. Here we have width and height set for a 4K video and a frame rate set to 25 frames per second. The timecode visible flag is set to false as we do not want a timecode to be shown in the top of each frame. Finally we have the modules section. This is a list of modules that need to run to generate the animation. Here we have just one, which is our custom module. The main entries here are path. This is the path to our module on the left of the screen. Page, this is the URL for the website. This is the same one from the original tweet. Year, the year to start the animation from. And speed, the number of years between each frame. Finally we have durations in seconds. So here we want 5 minutes of video. At 25 frames per second and 100 years between each frame, the 5-minute video will span 700,000 years. The final thing to do was to run it. I created a Docker container containing the new module, then set up my job in my Jenkins server so that it would run as I would expected it to take a short while. In the end, it took just under 5 hours to create just 5 minutes of video, averaging 0.4 frames a second. So now sit back and watch the next 700,000 years pass by over the next 5 minutes.